No.
No.
We just kind of want to be able to look to put together a complete game.
Cartier! Hammer done! Your Aunt Leslie was watching the game on Facebook Live tonight. So look right in there and say hi to your Aunt Leslie and
Hi,
to your
Aunt Leslie.
family in Hawaii watching also.
How's it going?
Bryce Miller drives in, kicks it out for three.
Come on!
We don't like basketball.
So don't let them steal your light. There's light on the other side. You'll see all the raindrops falling. It's a revolution. Make it out. It's a revolution.
W7 finally live. You guys didn't give up on me, did you? Now here's the one thing I know, and this is what I really have in my favor. You guys are hardcore softball junkies, so I know you'll wait. I know you'll put up with it. I know it'll be this delay, that delay, whatever, and you'll be, like that girlfriend that gets stood up and says, you know what, this time I'm not taking him back. But when I show up, you're taking me back. But we all know that, right? Hey, guys, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Sorry for the delays tonight. Had just some technical issues, but I think we got to work through. And glad to be here tonight. If you want to, if this is actually live, so it's on a recording. It's a live video. So if you want to comment, please do so. And I'll be looking for your comments on Facebook. So if you want to comment, do so on Facebook. That'll be the place I'll be looking tonight for any comments that you guys have. And knowing you guys, you'll have more than one. Great show ahead tonight. I want to talk a little bit about the fundraiser, and I won't spend much time on it, but just want to do a recap on that. We're going to do some highlights. We're going to have a little bit of Waukesha North softball. We got Maddie Anderson queued up for an interview. We got Emma Lossier queued up for interview, highlights with her. We're going to do some Classic 8 stuff. We got CMH. I got the whole CMH, well, not the whole, at least half of the CMH team I ran into, and we did an interview with them. We'll get you that. I have an interview with Coach Tanya Villarreal from Slinger. This was in February, still applicable. We're gonna cover through that. We're gonna talk about the past week of the GMC in the Woodland. What's coming up this coming week? I gotta stop hitting the table because it causes such a vibration. And then we're gonna do the Franklin Triangular this coming weekend. So there's a ton going on in softball. So let's get right into it. Let me see if I've got fundraiser information here. I don't have it in front of me, but a couple things on the fundraiser. So first of all, thank you to all of you for your just incredibly generous donations. We were able to raise $13,000, which I'll be honest, I did not expect that we would do that this year. And I'm just absolutely blown away by the passion that you guys have for girls sports. It matches and exceeds my own in a lot of ways. And I'm just so happy to be part of this community, whether it's softball, volleyball, basketball, lacrosse. They're all great fan bases, great communities, and they're great sports. And I'm just happy to be alongside with you guys and able to call these games and go to these games and just be a fan like you. So thank you so much. The generosity just absolutely blew me away. A couple notes. Big thanks to Germantown. Fantastic participation from Germantown, and it came right down to the wire with them and Slinger. Germantown, I know you guys didn't win, but Slinger didn't win last year, and we did a ton with them. So I guess my point is we're going to consider you our home away from home, if that makes sense. So look for plenty of plenty of events in Germantown and Germantown away games as well in all sports this coming fall, winter, and next spring. So all this starts in the fall. We still have to get through this season. We've got some things to close out this year, obviously with softball and lacrosse. But starting in August, we'll start the next the next season for us, 2019-2020. Big congratulations to Slinger. Behind most of the way until the last hour, and that's just experience. It's so funny how much this actually mirrors and replicates sports, because Slinger was here last year. They understood it. They know the process. They know to be patient at the end and come through at the end, and they did just that and were able to pull out the victory. So congratulations, Slinger. You are our home team for next year. All kinds of great things happening this year. We did a lot with Brookfield Central this year. We're going to expand on that. We learned a lot on what works, what doesn't work. So you guys get to benefit from that in the coming year. Be a lot of announcements coming out in the next couple weeks about some things that we're going to do, and it's really, really exciting. So glad to have you guys on board. I'm going to check and see if there's any comments real quick. Make sure you guys can all hear me okay. It seems like everything's good on my side, but you never know with this stuff. Let's see. No comments, really, you guys? You guys are my comment kings. What's going on? Oh, there you are. Hey, Larry. Yep, I'm here finally, buddy. Okay, so let's get into actual softball here, and we'll start with kind of the week that was for us. I want to start out with some highlights and our player of the game interview that we did on Monday. So Monday we were at West Allis Central, had a great time over there. Coach Marion, the athletic director for the Bulldogs, actually came in and sat on the broadcast with us and did some color commentary for us and did some stats for us. It was fantastic. It was great having him. Our players of the game were Joe Casa and Delaney Sherry. Great big win for West Allis Central. They're really trying to build the program there. Coach Nitch is doing a fantastic job, and great culture. So take a listen here to Delaney Sherry and Joe Casa from West Allis Central. They were our players of the game on Monday in the week that was. W7 Live, we are back with the Zone Athletics Find Your Zone players of the game. We did 2 players of the game today. Delaney Sherry from West Allis Central and Joe Casa, the Buckaroo from West Allis Central. Nice job tonight, ladies.
Thank you.
So, coming in here, so first of all, I got to say, Delaney, we had Coach Marion do the game with us, the athletic director, and we were both just so amazed that you're just a freshman and how mature you are playing the game. I mean, talk about your background in softball and just really your love of the game. Where do you play club ball? How do you really get into softball?
Well, I started playing like baseball, and then one of my friends on another team, her dad invited me to play softball with her, and through the West Allis Wolves.
That's a great program.
Yeah.
The Wolves there, for sure.
What
I really liked most about what you did today was that play on the double play, making the catch and then having the thought to throw to first and make that play 2 outs. That was a huge part of this game. So, great job by you. As for you, you played all right. I mean, 3 hits, I guess. That's pretty good.
I guess.
Talk about the culture on this team. I mean, you guys only won 2 conference games last year. I mean, Delaney, this was before your time, obviously. But,
yeah.
The culture, Joe, I mean, what do you guys talk about what Coach Nitch is trying to do and really where you guys are trying to get to?
We were good, like when Nitch was in school, and now we're trying to get
back. That was a
long
time ago.
That was 10 years ago. And now we're trying to get back because we have a good team this year. We should have a run for conference champ this year.
Hey, good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
Great seeing you. Appreciate you responding back to me on Twitter. That was really cool. I really got a good. We talked about that on the broadcast tonight. Got a good laugh out of that. It's good to see you guys involved and everything. Let us know how we can help you guys. We're big, huge fans of West Allis Central, guys. Keep working hard. Good luck the rest of the way. Let me ask you one last question before we go. So everything W7 does, we do for who?
For the girls.
Great kids. Joe Casa, just a backstory on this. On Monday, I had sent out a tweet on Twitter saying it had an infographic of Joe and her batting average and how many steals she had, and she replied back, "Wow, that's really cool. I feel like a big shot." And so I replied back. I said, "Well, hey, play hard tonight and get the W, and maybe you'll be the player of the game." And her response was, "Will do, Buckaroo." And so, I mean, which was hilarious to me. I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever heard. And so we've been calling her Buckaroo ever since. You guys know how I am with nicknames. So she's our Buckaroo at West Dallas Central. Great kids over there in general, and fantastic culture. We had a lot of fun. So that was our Monday. Fast forwarding ahead to Tuesday, we had another visit into the Woodland Conference. This time it was New Berlin Eisenhower, New Berlin West. Doesn't get any bigger than that as far as rivalries go. Well, maybe tomorrow will be along that line. But anyway, West and Ike was a fantastic rivalry, great game. West played beautifully. Our player of the game was Andrea Cooney from New Berlin West. She pitched a shutout over 6 innings. Had a little help from Wiskachill in the last inning to wrap it up a 7-0 victory. But here is our conversation and some highlights of the New Berlin West, New Berlin Eisenhower game on Tuesday that was on W7 Live. We are joined by our Zone Athletics Find Your Zone player of the game. It is Andrea Cooney from New Berlin West. Andrea, hey, great job tonight.
Thank you.
You know, you came in right away. You pitched a great game. One of the things that I kind of picked up is you really like working ahead in the count, don't you? Does it make you more comfortable in pitching?
Yeah, like calms me down and gives me more confidence.
How does it help having a catcher like Kat Burkhardt behind the dish?
Kat is great. She helps me. She calms me down when I need it.
Your off-speed pitch has really come along. People are waiting for that fastball, and you've got such a great motion now that you can make an off-speed pitch, and it looks the exact same. How much you have to work at it to get to that?
A lot. I've worked a lot on the off season, and I thank my pitching coach and all my supporters.
Who is that? Who's your pitching coach?
Ken Stilley.
Okay. You know, your defense, you got so much confidence being up there pitching because you have such a great defense behind you.
Yes, it's easy to make sure that I have my team behind me and that if I need them, they've got me.
Are you guys really as close and friendly as you look? I mean, you guys look like you really all like each other a lot, and you just enjoy being around each other.
Yeah, we're a great big team, and we all enjoy each other, and we all try to take in all the memories we can. And
how's it been with Coach Minnick coming in this year? And you know, I know he coached here before and was gone for a year, but you know, as a head coach, a little bit different role than what he was before. How has that been for you guys with him coming in and coaching here?
Oh, Mr. Minnick's great. He's very supportive, and he's very go with the flow. So it's very easy for us, and we all enjoy him as our coach.
He really likes you guys to have fun, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't that great to have a coach like that? Now, I've got some inside information on you, Andrea, and I'm a little concerned, I got to tell you, because I hear that you enjoy riding in the front car of a roller coaster with your hands straight up. Is that kind of like your thing?
Yeah. I love Six Flags, and
I'd be terrified. Let me ask you one last question before we go. So, Andrea Cooney is our Find Your Zone. So that was Tuesday. New Berlin West coming out with a 7-0 victory over New Berlin Eisenhower in the rivalry game, and we'll look at the standings in a little bit and see how that impacted the Woodland Conference. It's going to be an interesting race this year in the Woodland. So that was our Tuesday. Thursday was unfortunately weathered out, I guess. I don't know if it was rain or snow, I think it was snow. It was Germantown and DSHA was our plan for Thursday. And Mother Nature said, not so fast, my friend. So we did not have a game Thursday. Made up for it Friday. I'm just checking my mic here. Made up for it Friday with a game with Muskego and Waukesha North. And boy, what a great game. The weather was lousy. I mean, just absolutely terrible. It was frigid cold. I felt so bad for those girls. Heck, I felt bad for myself. It was cold. And but it was a great game. You know, Maddie Anderson had 16 strikeouts, and you say that, and it sounds like, hey, you know, that's a lot, and it is. But I put a post up earlier on social media showing, you know, what the scorecard looked like. It's ridiculous. I mean, she had just an unbelievable game, and you know, that's just kind of how Maddie is. That's just her game. Normally, it wasn't like some, you know, freak thing. I mean, that's just how she plays. We had a chance to sit down with Maddie after the game and talk about this team, talk about how she's doing. I'll tell you what, those kids are a ton of fun. And, you know, Tosa East, you guys should be so proud of what you started. I know sometimes you get a little hot under the collar with all these pyramids and other things that everybody else does, but they're copying what you did. It's flattery to you. So you guys are always going to be the ones that started it. And that always belongs to you. But look at everything that everybody else is doing as a compliment to you, and they're just trying to add to what you've already created. So don't look at it as a threat. Look at it as, wow, we want to be as cool as you guys, because you guys are pretty cool. But this is really neat what the North kids did. They actually brought props and everything for this, and Maddie was dressed up to the nines. It was a lot of fun. So here's our interview with Maddie Anderson following North's 3-0 victory. Oh, and by the way, Maddie had a no-hitter. I didn't mention that. 16 strikeouts and a no-hitter. But here's our interview with Maddie following the game. A great job. We had a lot of fun with her. So take a look at this. W7 Live, we are back with the Zone Athletics Find Your Zone player of the game. It is Maddie Anderson with her purple hair from Waukesha North. Maddie, great game tonight.
Thank you.
You know, it looked like you had a lot of fun out there tonight. I mean, clearly, I mean, talk about find your zone. I mean, you had 15 strikeouts to start. I mean, you know, how'd you feel out there tonight? It's probably kind of a silly question, but I mean, how did it feel to be out there tonight?
Yeah, at first I was definitely thrown back by just the weather because it was kind of cold, but I kind of found my groove, and obviously we have a lot of fun in the dugout. So
well, no
we were
doubt
able
about
to-
that. Does weather like this help you as far as, you know, who you pitch, or do you really not care one way or the other? I've seen you pitch in all
Yeah.
kinds of weather, and it's pretty much the same. But does it affect you at all?
I try not to let it affect me. No.
I mean, so Drew mentioned. So my son called the game with me, and he said, he said Maddie didn't do something because she's just being nice. And I said, Maddie's not nice on the softball field. I mean, that's a fair statement, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're Mad Dog for a reason, right? It's not because you're, you know, Miss Nice Girl on the field.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a great kid off the field,
Thank you.
and you play a clean game. But I mean, you're very
Yes.
competitive on the
Yes.
field. I mean, it's all about winning and all about, you know, imposing your will on the other team. The hitting has not been here for North to start. I mean, you went 2 for 3 today. I mean, do you think that's a symptomatic of the weather and just early season, or is it, you know, something that's missing that you guys had last year?
I think it's more just the early season. We have a lot of underclassmen that are having to fill some big roles on varsity, so just getting used to the pitching in the conference, because Classic 8 is kind of known for their pitching. So
I got to ask you about that play when you got on base and you were taunting might be kind of a strong word, but you know, kind of running back quickly in first and second. Were you just trying to rattle the defense? I mean, what was your goal there?
yeah, I was just trying to get Jenny in on third. I was hoping they were gonna make a throw or run me off, do something like that, just so we could get a run across.
So you'd given up, you know, getting taken out. I mean, so if she would have scored,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
well, I mean, it worked. I mean, you
Yeah.
got an error, and you guys ended up scoring a run, and you got 2 more in the 7th. Talk about Emma Lassier. I thought
Yeah.
she was so great
No,
behind
she's
the dish
awesome.
today, and that double play that she made, and as
Yeah.
well as, you know, the catch here in the 7th inning. I mean, how great is that for you as a pitcher to have somebody like Emma behind the dish like that?
No, she's awesome. We are best friends, like inseparable. So it's just awesome that she gets to catch for me, because she's actually not a natural catcher. We turned her into a catcher sophomore year, so
Well, she's a darn good
yeah.
one.
Yeah, she really took to it, and she's been awesome all year.
Are you enjoying this senior year, Maddie? I mean, it's, you know,
Yeah.
try to get every minute out of it you can, and enjoying it so far?
Yeah, the seniors on this squad, me, Emma, and Liz, we really click. We've been playing together since we were like 10.
Yeah.
So it's a really special year.
Well, we're going to come see you at North on April 30th when you guys take on Waukesha West. We get a picture with the three of you when we're there. Let me ask you one last question. I hopefully know the answer on this one, Maddie. You know it? Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, Maddie. Here we go. So, Maddie Anderson, our Find Your Zone player of the game. Maddie, everything W7 does, we do for who?
For the girls.
You've been watching Classic 8 Waukesha North softball on W7. Those kids are so fun, I'll tell you. If you can have that much fun in, you know, 38-degree weather and, you know, intermittent rain and 30-mile-an-hour wind, I mean, I can't imagine what it's going to be like when the weather actually turns. We had a great time with the North kids and with Muskego as well. Thanks to Coach Check for having us down there. Didn't turn out the way that they would have liked, and again, you know, it's number one, it's not a lot of fun hitting against Maddie, and number two, it's the weather was very, very difficult, not conducive to a lot of offense. But great game by both teams. North came out on top. Little bonus here, we got a chance to, I reached out today to Emma Lassier, the starting catcher for Waukesha North, and said, hey, Emma, you know, how about get on FaceTime with me and let's have a quick interview. And she's like, sure, sounds great, but I'm super scared. It makes me super nervous. And I just said, hey, we're just going to talk about the team. We're going to talk about, Maddie. For all of you players that are on, know that when we do an interview, I'll mostly try to steer it towards the team and other players, and not make you do a lot of talking about yourself. So if that makes you feel a little more comfortable, but we're always looking for players to interview and talk to. So here's our interview with Emma Lossier, the starting catcher and senior on Waukesha North, and we'll have a little highlight clip after, but here's Emma. Joining us on W7 via FaceTime is the starting catcher and senior for Waukesha North. It's Emma Lossier. Emma, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Hey, thanks for taking a few minutes. I know you got stuff to get ready for school and everything else tomorrow, but wanted to talk a little Waukesha North softball. First of all, congratulations. Big win on Friday against a pretty tough Muskego team. You guys did really well up there, especially considering the weather.
Yes, thank you. It was tough conditions to play in, but we made it through.
So you guys went to state last year. I mean, you've played on the diamond at Goodman. What's different from this year's team versus last year's team in your mind so far?
So far, I'd just say our hitting hasn't really clicked yet, but we're getting there, and we showed that at Muskego the other day. Last year we got on base most of the time. We're still kind of struggling with leaving runners on base, but I think we're improving well.
What's the chemistry like in this group? I know you and Liz and Maddie are all pretty tight. But you got some younger kids too. How's all that working out and coming together for you guys?
Oh, it's good. They're getting in the swing of things at being freshmen, working at the varsity level. The chemistry is really good. Like, our dugout is crazy. We all love each other.
I would attest it is crazy. We had a camera in there on Friday night. There was all kinds of fun stuff going on in there. You guys are anything but boring for sure.
Yes, we make sure we have props at the beginning of the year to do our rally time.
Let's talk about Maddie a little bit. She, obviously is a D1 commit at Western Illinois, and rightfully so. I mean, I would argue, and I'm sure you'd agree, that I think she's the best pitcher in the state right now. I mean, watching that kid throw from the circle I'll tell you what, it was impressive on Friday. And, what's that like for you being back behind the dish with those balls coming in like that?
Oh, it's scary.
Yeah. I'd be terrified.
Yeah, well, sophomore year when I turned into a catcher, started catching for her, man, that was something else. But every day it just gets easier and easier. And like you said, one of the best pitchers in the state. I'm just so thankful that we have her on our team, and it makes me a better catcher, I feel like, because she can do the different pitches, she can do all that stuff, and it makes me work harder to be a better catcher.
And Drew was a catcher, I think you know that, and so I mean he was on the broadcast with me on Friday, and he commented that the chemistry between you guys is really good because her placement of pitches is right where you want them, and where it's going to go, and you guys seem to really, really work well together.
Yes, well, we have been best friends for years, and that just transfers on to the softball field. And when we found out that I was going to be catcher, she was going to be pitcher, that just made it so much better, and our chemistry is just the best.
And she's the sweetest kid in the world, but I tell you, on the field, I mean, they call her Mad Dog for a reason, right? She does, and she's pretty competitive. I know you are too. So we posted your guys' play the other night, the double play, which by the way was just fantastic. That catch that you made, and then the throw down to second. I mean, you were pretty pumped up after that. I saw some fist pumping and everything else. I mean, that was a pretty big deal for you guys.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a momentum shifter. Yeah.
Well, and I think you guys are looking for opportunities where you can help support her, where it's not just, hey, Maddie's got to throw this perfect crazy game in order for us to win, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. I mean, you were in a jam, and walk us through that. When that pitch came down and you kind of saw it. I mean, what happened there?
When that pitch was coming, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but I just felt it coming. I was like, this girl possibly is gonna tip it up. I gotta be ready. And turns out the other girl was doing a bunt and run, so she was too far to come back. So it sounds weird.
No, that sounds great. I mean, and that's part of being the catcher. I mean, you get the vision of the whole field, plus the batters, and you kind of know what to expect. And again, I think if you talk, and I talked to Maddie about this Friday. I mean, and she was so complimentary of how well you are back there and how much it helps her. And I'll tell you what, the best thing for a pitcher is a grade A catcher, and you're definitely that. As far as we talked about this a little bit earlier, but. So I look at the group of you guys. I mean, because I know you guys all so well now this last year, kind of hanging out together. But you and Liz and Cassie and Maddie and you guys all have been a group together for, and I'm sure I'm leaving out some kids, but together for a long time. What's the emotion like for you as as you see this starting to come to an end, and you guys are all kind of going to go your separate ways?
You're tugging at the heartstrings, Gary.
I know. Goals for this team, and I'll let you go, Emma. I mean, is the goal to get back to Madison again and to take care of business this year? Is that what you guys are looking at?
Definitely. I mean, everyone's goal is really to get to state, but since we did get there last year, it's definitely one of our top goals to go back and, like you said, finish some business there.
Well, and I ran into the CMH kids yesterday at Panera, and I ended up getting them on camera, and they'll be on the show as well. But we talked about the conference itself, and I mean, the Classic 8 is a pretty tough conference of softball. I mean, we've done so much GMC stuff that I kind of get a little GMC colorblind, but after, being around the Classic 8 this year, there's a lot of really good softball in this conference.
Definitely. Like, I would say, I mean, my own bias, but I'd say that it's one of the top conferences in the state.
Agree. I mean, CMH is 11-0. Yeah, well, it should be a fun ride the rest of the way. We're going to come see you April 30th when you guys take on West. You got to make one promise for me that you'll let me get a photo with you and Liz and Maddie on the diamond before the game's over. Or after the game's over, I mean.
Definitely, I promise.
All right. Hey, Emma, great talking to you. Good luck the rest of the way. Keep in touch and let us know how you're doing, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you so much.
Now here's Jalen Strain, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Squaring up to bunt. And caught by the catcher. Going to double her off at second. And that's retires the side. Great job by Emma Lassier to make the play, throw to second, and retire the side. No runs, no hits. There was one error, and nobody left. We've played 6 at Muskego. Your score remains Waukesha North 1, Muskego nothing. You're watching Classic 8 Softball on W7 Live. What a great kid. And I'll tell you, she's as genuine and as real as you get. We had a great opportunity to spend the entire basketball season with Waukesha North this year, and Emma part of that team. And, just got to really know her. And she's just a genuine kid, great family. And we're just thrilled to count her as a friend in W7. So thank you, Emma, for your time and for your trust. Appreciate that. And by the way, coaches especially, if I ever contact you to do an interview on the phone on FaceTime, call Emma to know how to do lighting and background. That was like professional grade stuff. So she did all that herself and got it all set up. It looks fantastic. I get no credit on this. That was all Emma's work. So if you need help as far as how to set all that stuff up, let her know. I'm telling you, she did a great job. So let's move on. I want to look at the Classic 8 real quick here. Then we're going to get into a little bit of CMH softball. So it's going to be a great week this week. So first of all, you got Kettle Moraine. We talked about them a little bit last week. 5-0 start in the conference. Them and CMH being undefeated. If you had to pick 2 undefeated teams in the Classic 8 after the first 2 weeks in conference play, I'd say it's about the same as picking the March Madness winner. I don't think anybody would have picked KM and CMH as your 2 undefeated teams, and they're doing a great job and off to a fantastic start. Waukesha North right there, Muskego, McWanago, and then Arrowhead and down the line from there. But great conference. It's a packed conference as far as talent goes. A lot of great pitching. Maddie alluded to that in the post-game interview. You know, Abby Smith is doing a fantastic job at CMH, and I'm telling you, I mean, you got some really, really, really good teams in the conference this year. KM also a great sophomore pitcher, so really great things there as well. This week in the Classic 8, I'll tell you what, you guys, if I wasn't going to be out of town for business this week for my other job, I would, and whether it was live streaming or not, I would get to North on Tuesday for KM and North. That is going to be a off-the-hook game. Tuesday, 5 o'clock, and then Muskego and McWanago on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So great things in the Classic 8 this week. Should be really interesting to see how that plays out. A bunch of other games as well, but those are the two that we highlighted. So I want to shift gears and talk about one last thing in the Classic 8. Our friends at CMH, you know, the craziest things happen. I stopped in for lunch at Panera in Waukesha Saturday morning. Well, it was around 11:30, and lo and behold, there were a whole group of CMH softball players there. So I pulled up a seat, talked to them, and happened to pull up a camera and talk about their season so far and just how things have been going. And you know, I told Coach Johnson, you know, it's no bulletin board material, it's all good stuff, and it really was. They did a great job. So here is that. And again, this is completely unscripted, completely impromptu. Here is our conversation that we had at Panera Bread with the CMH Crusaders on Saturday. We are here with the CMH softball team. Big victory this morning,
yeah.
Another one this afternoon. 10-0. I mean, great start for you guys. You know, thoughts on the season so far? I mean, how things are going. Abby, what do you think?
I think we're just hitting really well, and we just gotta keep going.
Keep our energy up.
Yeah.
Keep hitting the ball.
Definitely keep running the bases.
Did you guys expect this? I mean, did you expect to have the kind of the start that you've had? I mean, you know, coming into this year?
Not at all. We lost like 6 of our starting varsity players last year, so we thought it'd be like a rebuilding season, and we just came out strong with a lot of energy and positivity, and I mean, look where it got us. I don't know.
How does it help having a coach like Coach Johnson and the staff as far as, you know, to me, it seems like they really want you guys to have fun in addition to playing the game. I mean, and how important is that for you guys to not just play the game and have, you know, success on the field, but also to have fun off the field, even have fun during games?
It's definitely really nice having Coach Johnson because he wants us to build that chemistry as a team, and he encouraged us to all go out to lunch together and, you know, do some team bonding stuff. So it's super important to have coaches like that. And I mean, he makes it fun. He'll come play with us in practices and just like start yelling and, you know, having fun with us. So it's awesome.
Does it really have the kind of that family feel to it for you guys? I mean, and is that important for you guys as a team, do you think? I mean, do you think that makes a difference in how you played, trusting each other on the field?
Yeah, definitely. Especially because we have such a mix of underclassmen and upperclassmen. It's really important that we all bond so that we can work together well on and off the court. So.
How do you guys deal with like playing time issues? Are there problems with that? Like, hey, I should play more, or, you know, maybe I shouldn't play as much, or is there any issues like that you guys have? And if so, I mean, how do you deal with stuff like that?
I think the coaches do a pretty good job, like, especially with the younger girls, like even getting them like running the bases and like substitute running for people. Like everyone gets to play a little bit in every game and contribute to the win. So
who's the seniors on this team?
Us
Okay,
too.
so you guys are the seniors.
Yeah.
You know, so it's your last year. I mean, do you think about that during the season at all? Is that something that you think about, or is that just something you kind of put in the back of your mind and say, hey, I'll deal with that later?
I mean, it is a little, like, I guess it pops up sometimes, and it's, like, sad to think that this is our last season, but we're having a good time now, so we just got to keep staying with that and go out with a bang, so.
What do you guys want to leave behind, I mean, for the next group? I mean, you know, CMH hasn't had a long tradition of winning at softball, but do you guys feel like, you know, maybe you're laying the groundwork here to change the culture and to, you know, to really, you know, have that going forward?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely talked about this before the season. We just kind of want to have like a good season, a good ending season, and leave behind like, hey, like we were made up of underclassmen mainly, and we went as far as we did. We went 10-0. That means anybody can go as far as they want as long as they have like passion and hope and all that stuff. So
You guys played in a really tough conference. I mean, I didn't realize, I'll be honest with you, we've done a lot of GMC stuff. We didn't do a lot of Classic 8, but getting into the conference this year and getting into watching all you guys play, there's a lot of really good teams. I mean, North is good. You guys are good. KM is good. Arrowhead's always good. I mean, you know, thoughts about, you know, just the conference that you play in and kind of getting into the grind of that and, you know, how you deal with, you have to go play against Maddie Anderson here at some point, I imagine. I mean, you know, she's probably, you know, the best pitcher in the state. I mean, you know, thoughts on your conference that you guys are in?
Even though our conference is really good, it helps us get better every time. And playing against good competition is always good for any team. And I think that helps us a lot.
You're going to be a good coach someday.
Thank you.
Well, hey, good luck, Crusaders. Glad I ran into you guys today.
Yeah. Awesome.
Good luck the rest of the way. I think we're going to see you guys again before the season's over, so there's no escaping W7. You guys know that. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, one last thing. Does everybody know the answer to this question? All right, here we go. I'll ask and see if everybody knows. Everything W7 does, we do for who?
The girls.
Great kids. They did a great job. Abby Aaron there at the end was funny. I told her she's going to be a good coach someday. So, Coach Jay, you know, keep that in mind when you're cultivating your alumni. Have her back as a coach someday. She'll be a good one. She's got all the coach speak down perfectly. So, great job by CMH. You guys are off to a fantastic start this season, 11-0. We were thrilled to be able to watch you guys play early in the year, and maybe it'll work out this year. We could do something else before the season's over. But appreciate that. Coach Jay, as always, appreciate your support and the programs of W7. It was fantastic and so appreciated. Shifting gears onto the North Shore Conference. We're supposed to have a game tomorrow. I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I'd call Troy Berglund at Pewaukee, first of all. But and then I would ask him, you know, what's it look like? And he would tell me probably not very good since there's snow on the ground right now. But they said the high tomorrow is 53. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep an eye out. But I'm not overly optimistic about getting this game in tomorrow. But hey, never know. Slinger Hartford 4:30. At Hartford. In fact, that's our only game during the week this week. I'm going to be out of town Tuesday through Friday at a business conference in Orlando. Don't get all excited. I'm not going down. I'm going to be in a conference center for 3 straight days. So certainly not a vacation by any means. And plus, I'd rather be at softball games anyway. So hopefully that works out for tomorrow. If not, we'll work on getting the reschedule done. But again, we're going to do a lot in the North Shore certainly the rest of this year and then next year for sure. Looking at the North Shore standings right now, Slinger, not a big surprise. They were a game away from winning state last year, 3-0 in the conference. But you got Homestead, Cedarburg, both 4-1, Grafton 3-1, Hartford 2-1, and then down the line from there. So an opportunity for Hartford tomorrow. Macy Myers, I'm sure you're probably on. A chance for you guys to, knock off the champs here and, stake your claim in the North Shore. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see you guys. And but I'm sure Sylvia and Maya and Danny and all the girls will be ready at Slinger, assuming that game's on. So we'll see how that goes. But that is scheduled for 4:30 tomorrow. We did have a chance during basketball season to sit down with Coach Tanya Villarreal at halftime of one of the basketball games. I want to bring you that interview because most of it is still very, very applicable, talking about, the team last year, the team this year, and kind of goals, that type of thing. So here's Coach Villarreal talking with us on February 1st of 2019 at halftime on W7 Live.
W7 Live. Very special guest in the house tonight, the head coach of Slinger Softball, Tanya Villarreal. Coach, thanks for taking a few minutes.
Sure, no problem.
Well, great to see you. And, I see you and I feel like, hey, it's coming. Softball's coming.
We're getting excited. All these game delays has been there, done that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, you guys doing off-season workouts, all that fun stuff. I assume you've been doing that pretty heavy, to start the year.
Yeah, they started their open gyms, so they've been getting in there and getting to it. They're very excited, kind of feeding off that energy from last year, so they're getting pumped.
I mean, this community, and again, I've talked about this at length. I mean, it's such a consumer of prep sports, and it's to me it's a model community on what you want as far as supporting prep sports. And I know you guys got so much support from the community last year, and what a magical year you guys had last season.
Absolutely. We have, Slinger is such a small town, as you know, and so our parents and fans really come out and support all our sports, and it definitely showed in softball last year. And, we got a lot of little ones coming through the program too,
Yes.
so that's good to see.
What was that like last year for the run you guys had last year, getting a chance to play at Goodman Field in Madison and really just going through that whole state tournament process? I mean, what was that like for you guys, for you as a coach and for the kids?
It was very exciting. The kids were a little nervous, and they admit it now. They say, it was a little big for us, but now they're ready, and they can't wait to get back.
So last year it's one of those things where, hey, it's great to go. Now this year, now we're going to go there for business, right? It was fun last year. Now it's business this year.
Exactly. I think last year they were just happy to be there.
Yes.
Now they've got a taste of it, and they're excited. They're hungry for it.
And what'd you lose for seniors last year from your team?
Well, we graduated 3 seniors. One was a starter for us, and she was our first baseman. So we'll lose that leadership. She was a freshman on varsity, so that's a big loss.
That's a tough loss. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, most everybody else is back, and so we have our great pitching coming back. So we should hopefully be right up there again.
So let me ask you, as the season starts getting closer, do you start telling Coach Dobson, take it easy on Danny, we're going to need her, enough with his running up and down the floor baloney? What if she turns an ankle? I mean, it's time to start winding down, right?
Yeah, exactly. I told her, I said, you don't need to play. It's okay.
Right.
You can watch from
What
the
a great
bench.
athlete she is. Isn't she a great athlete?
Is. She's phenomenal, and she's really putting in the work. So.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Flaherty girl,
Sylvia, yeah.
and Jen, and I mean, Jen's crazy softball mom, right? I mean, we know that, right? About Jen, we love Jen.
Yes.
But I know that they are super excited about softball starting again, and just really kind of getting going again.
They are. Sylvia has been putting in a lot of
Yes,
hours.
I've seen her on social media. I mean, she's getting her. I mean, her legs just thick. I mean,
yes,
she's strong.
She's ready.
Yeah, she's ready.
ready.
She's absolutely ready.
Yeah, she's out working at BRX, putting in her time, and so I have very excited for her. I think there's going to be big things this year.
How's the conference going to be this year as far as softball goes?
I think it'll be a lot of the same as last year. Hopefully, Grafton will have their pitcher back, so I think they'll be more competitive. I think everybody will be a little bit more competitive, and so it should be fun.
Well, we had fun last year, so we were at the state tournament, as you remember, and it was great to just hang out with a lot of the Slinger folks. And we hadn't really had any exposure to Slinger softball until that day, because we did a lot with Menominee Falls, which we'll do again this year. But we're going to do stuff with you guys this year, too, for sure. So we're going to come out and do some games. Flaherty's already hooking me up. They're like, okay, now here's how you're going to do it. Here's what you're going to come out and do. So we're kind of getting it all worked out. It's going to go to this Facebook page and everything else. So
looking forward to it.
Should be a great season. We're looking forward to it. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
Thank you.
Go Owls. Softball's coming. I think it's 45 days until our season opener. So can you believe that? 45 days away. We'll see if that really happens.
Well,
but
hopefully that snow is gone.
Hopefully we'll be like last year, all the rainouts we had last year. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks again, Coach. Good seeing you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. You're watching W7 Live.
Wait, can we practice without
Yes.
the camera on?
It's not on.
It's not, are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
All this we're going to put in slow motion.
Oh no. Is this going on Twitter?
It's going everywhere.
No!
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Let's do it together
It's fun.
Yes.
It's not serious.
It's
No.
funny. It's funny.
No, because people think it's funny when I say that you're ridiculous. So you're just playing into it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh no. Sorry, I messed up. Come on. Wait, it's only one finger, right? Yeah. Okay, what do you want me to do with my hands? What do I do? Give me a facial expression. Just straight face. Okay.
I got your back.
Okay, thank you.
All you're gonna say on camera is, my roots in Slinger run deep. You could do that, can't you?
My roots in Slinger.
My
run
easy
deep.
money.
Is it going?
No. I bet I've seen that bit with the Slinger basketball girls 1,100 times, and I still laugh every time I see it. Kate Hosking's face when somebody says, "Just do this," her face was so funny. Great kids. We're just so
so thrilled to be involved in Slinger Athletics this past year, and also obviously coming up in 2019, 2020. Real quick, quick final look at the North Shore. So we talked about Slinger Hartford on Monday, West Bend Hartford Wednesday. It's really the other what I would call big game of the week coming up. So Hartford, you guys got a couple big games this week. It'll be interesting to see how things go and how you guys do. So that's the North Shore, and again, we're scheduled for Monday at 4:30. We'll see how that goes, and we'll keep you posted on our social media page as far as updates go. Moving on, GMC. No clips or anything from the GMC this week. We didn't do any games this past week, but just a real quick recap of the standings and a look ahead of the week ahead. DSHA having a fantastic season. Coach Tom and the group doing a great job over there. They're 6-0 in the conference, 8-3 overall. Sussex Hamilton having a nice little season as well, and they've beat some good competition, 4-0 to start. And Germantown, it kind of just came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, they're 5-1 in the conference, so they're right there as well. And don't ever count out Tosa East. Annalise Glaui back on the circle for Tosa East. Menominee Falls, they're a young team, but I think what you'll see throughout the season, as you'd expect from Coach Lou and Coach Langer, is they're going to improve as they break the Colts here and get them ready to play competitive ball all spring. So I think good things ahead for Falls. BC, I'll tell you what, they've got a lot of power offensively. I think Hannah Huntley's still, working her way in as far as pitching goes. I think she's doing a great job, but she's just a sophomore, so there's still some learning to do there. But BC, I would say, hey, 2-3, that's not a bad place to be. And then you got Brook East, Tosa West, and just a shout out to West Alice Hale. I know things haven't worked out the way that Coach Drew and the girls probably would like to start out the year, but I will tell you, I think from what I've seen, they've been extremely competitive. They've fought hard. They've never given up. When you got, the Hess kid, and you got Michaela Emmons and Alyssa Madison, you got a great core group, and Coach Drew knows that, and it's going to get there, you guys. I know it hasn't started out the way you'd like, but got faith in you guys. Love the Huskies, and your team is much better than what that record says. So hang in there, keep working. Tiffany Paulus, hope you're doing well. So that's the GMC this week. Boy, again, huge game tomorrow if it happens. DSHA Hamilton, 4:30. So we're going to keep an eye on the whole schedule. If something happens with Hartford, Slinger, and they can't play for whatever reason, if there's an opportunity to go play somewhere else where they are going to play, we're going to try and pivot and move. But again, we're counting on Slinger Hartford playing tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. And then Hamilton, Tosa East, Tuesday at 4:30. So Hamilton, big week coming up. Both Monday and Tuesday, two big games with two of the conference leaders in DSHA and Wauwatosa East. So that's a look at the GMC. Moving on to the Woodland, just in the West, we talked about this a little bit earlier. New Berlin West, 4-0 in the conference, 8-1 overall. New Berlin Eisenhower, 2-1. West knocked off Eisenhower. They were both 2-0, and so West now has opened up a 1.5 game lead in the conference. Greendale's there at 3-2, and then down the line from there again, West Allis Central starting out 1-2. And I got to tell you guys this story real quick. We did West Allis Central and Pewaukee on Monday, and on the way home, I got a message. Now, I pulled over because I don't, text and all that stuff while driving, but I pulled over, and I had a message on social media from Daily Bates at Pewaukee saying, hey, thanks for covering the game. I don't feel like, and we as a team don't feel like we represented, Pewaukee softball the way that we should. We don't think we played our best. We would love an opportunity to redeem ourselves and have you come to Pewaukee and do a game with us. And as I've often said, I have an easy time saying no to adults and to administrators. I have an almost impossible time saying no to players. So we're going to work with Pewaukee and see if we can work something out on the schedule to get out to Pewaukee, especially with a message like that. And Daly's a great kid, and they work hard, and so we'd love to be able to support them if we can make something happen. So shout out to Pewaukee, my friends there. We have a ton of friends in Pewaukee, so hopefully we can make something work there. And then Pius, rounding out the West. Moving on to the East. Whitnall 2-0 in the conference. No big surprise there. They're gonna be loaded. You got the Wynn kid on the circle. That's always gonna be as long as she's there. Whitnall's gonna be competitive. Obviously, they won state last year. Lost a lot of seniors, but again, you got Haley Wynn back, so that's a good thing. Then Cudahy, South Milwaukee, And then down the line from there, a couple big games in the Woodland East this week. Greenfield and Greendale. That's throw the records out when those two get together. That's always an interesting one. Greenfield, I think, has been challenged to start out, but maybe they can get things turned around starting this week. They'll be playing at Greendale on Thursday, and then also Thursday, Whitnall and West Allis Central. And it sounds like a mismatch, but I will tell you, I think the kids at West Allis Central are hungry to show that they belong in the conversation. And Whitnall, you better bring your A game, because I'm telling you, the Buckaroo and the group, Delaney and everybody else at West Allis Central will bring theirs. So I'll be interested to hear how that game goes. Good luck to both teams there. So that's the Woodland East real quick, and then just wrapping up here, a couple quick things, a couple quick notes to mention, if I can get this here. So a couple quick things to mention. Friday, again, no games this week, just Monday and then Saturday. Saturday will be at Franklin as Franklin hosts a triangular. I had a slide on it, but I don't seem to have it on here. So 3 games on Saturday, 10 o'clock, noon, and 2. The teams involved in the triangular on Saturday are Franklin, Green Bay Preble, and Homestead. So a triple header for you on Saturday, 10 o'clock, noon, and 2 from Franklin. We're looking forward to seeing Coach Reck and the girls, and I think Scott Wakowiak's going to do the game with me. We'll see how that works out. If he can make it, love to have him. Have Coach Scott join us up in the press box. I get to be in the box on Saturday, so looking forward to getting down to Franklin, seeing our friends, the Sabres down there. So that's on Saturday. No show next week. It's Easter. Have a happy Easter to you guys. And again, I'll be out of town this week, but back on Friday, and it's my birthday Friday, so I'll be 27. Yes, you nailed it exactly. Hey, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. This Week in Softball. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Girls, keep swinging, keep working hard, and for everybody, everything that we do, it's always, always for the girls.